Okay, so this one's for D'Angelo. I think D'Angelo and Alex, a couple of you guys have knee problems, and so I'm just gonna throw out a couple techniques at you, and then Leo, since you already know Small Tiger, you'll find this helpful, and then I guess you can put this in Yum Cha as well. So I'm just gonna explain one technique, and it's the palm strike. So the thing about the palm strike is that the palm strike is sort of a universal skill uh, in many styles, not just Jow Ga, but even a wider eyebrow. It's in our form, but it comes through very different variations. So a palm strike and a check and a block and a tiger claw, they're and a push, they're all interchangeable. So I want to explain first the difference. So you have the palm strike, which is hitting someone with the palm, right? And you can either go sideways, you can go up and down. Um, Matter of fact, you can even go inverted that way. Okay, so you have the strike, you have a tiger claw. So I hit and then I claw. I can hit and I can also rake. So what happens is if I hit, as you go back, I'll rake with the fingertips. The thing about the tiger claw is that the tiger claw is not meant to end a fight. It's just meant to give you an upper hand in the fight. So you can use it to frustrate your opponent, to cause additional pain, to make him bleed, to humiliate him, to slap him, to just take away his manhood in the course of the fight. Um, or you can use it as a strangle. So a palm strike can also be done against the throat to break the windpipe or to uh, to strangle the opponent, which I would use that in combination with say with a hold, right? Okay, so um, and then you also have a block. And what happens is a lot of people when they throw blocks, they just put the hand out there and they just block, but or they deflect. But the palm strike, if it's done properly, that block it's got to hurt. When you hit him, you hurt his arm, either from the sting of the slap or just the force of your block. You can also use it as a check. So a check means, let's say I block one, he throws a punch, I block, and the other hand comes out to just check the other hand, so I know where it is, or I can control that. So we call that a check. Um, you can also use the palm strike to disrupt an opponent's balance. I give an example. If I'm fighting and a guy throws a kick, I block the kick, and then I hit him with the palm strike to knock him off balance. Um, or let's say I'm attacking him, so I attack the opponent and I use my palm to knock his hand down, but I don't just knock the hand down. I force the hand into the body, and then I push, which gets him off balance, and then I attack with my other hand. Okay, so that's another use of the palm strike. I mean, of the palm block. What else? And then we also use it as a trap. So opponent has his hands up. I could use the front hand, knock the front hand over, but knock it into this hand, and we call that a trap. Or hitting him at the elbow to force the arm over. So guy's got his hands up. I take the so I'm this is a mirror image. My opponent hits me under here, or you hit under here to force the hand up, which traps both hands really. It also prevents me from being able to turn my body as long as I use a little bit of force, and that's where that palm comes from. So anyway, I said to say that, so to say this, that you practice the palm strike. You can do it on an opponent, which you would use a lot of power on. You can hit like a tree. So, for example, when I was you guys' age, when I was like 16, 17 years old, I had a tree in my backyard that I practiced on. My grandfather had one, uh, not really a telephone pole or anything, but it was just a kind of a log. It was a small log, about that big around, and he had it planted about 3 to 4 feet in the ground with rocks around it, covered with dirt. And so I used to practice hitting that with my screamer, with my sticks, hitting it with wooden knives, hitting it with my hands. practicing my blocks, and then if I wasn't on that, I would be on a tree, and I was doing the same thing. So um, uh, something I didn't do as a kid that I ended up doing as an adult was slapping that tree about 500 a day, uh, hitting it. So we wrap a towel around the tree and just hit it, just like that. So eventually you end up becoming very heavy-handed, so that when you actually block an opponent's hand, you're forcing everything over. When you block his arm, you're hitting him with some force. Hit him in the shoulder, you actually knock that guy over. So you're not just touching him, but when you touch him, it hurts. Okay, so that being said, let me explain the capturing the lamb, or capturing the tiger capturing lamb technique. So essentially it's a block and a tiger claw, or a trap and a tiger claw, or a push and a tiger claw. So that's what this technique is, but you can also do it with a palm strike. So the first part is this hand coming out, attacking the opponent's front hand, right? Then the second hand hits, and that hit can go against the jaw, can hit the throat. I can even turn it inside with a knife edge and hit the neck. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a palm or a tiger claw. It could also be a knife hand strike. So, for example, the butterfly palm technique. So same tech. So let's say I use it with my front hand. Instead of me going this way, how about if I go that way? So this hand is used as the check, or the block, or the trap, the attack, and that hand, which is closer, does the attack, whatever type of technique you want to do. If you want to use, let's say, the uh, the butterfly technique, the front hand can also capture the opponent's, or parry the opponent's front hand, and once I do that, pop with the other hand. So that's another use. So when you guys work on, let's say, your chi sao, when you learn your sticky hands, try to work these techniques in. Of course, don't actually hit each other in the face, but you can work these techniques in. So you don't want to just punch and palm strike with everybody else. You want to try to work those techniques from Small Tiger into your chi sao, and that's what makes our Jow Ga unique. In that, uh, your well, my sifu, your Qigong, I don't know what the next level up from your Qigong is. I guess he would be like your Sijo or whatever. What he did was he combined the sticky hands element with principles that he brought from other styles that he studied in with his Jow Ga, so that we didn't just do technique from the form and practice them in the air, but we actually worked them in a way that we were able to spar with it. And but anyway, it starts with just knowing the basics. So this is one of those basics people usually don't practice. So you can practice that, but get that palm technique in, that palm strike. Get that in, because if you don't develop that, most of what we teach in the system isn't going to make any sense. You know what I mean? It only works theoretically. So leave it at that. Bye.